Okay, super.
Great, finally. I think we started during the first lockdown. Okay, I'm good to go. Yeah.
This is I mean, I've pushed the record button now. This time for sure.
You have?
What I'm
And double check if it's already recorded.
Probably the last time I must have got super excited seeing you and meeting you for the first time, and I must have forgotten to hit the record button. Or
can you believe it?
I just can't believe it. And it had to happen with you. Why?
For the people. I know.
Anyway, but probably I think probably God wanted me to meet you again.
Absolutely. Once more, man. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Karthik. I mean, you've been extremely kind to help me out in this massive mess up that I've done.
Let's go official from now. Hey, Chandar, what's up, man?
Great. So good to see you, buddy. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You look great.
Same here.
And
all well with you?
Sorry?
All well with you?
Yes. Going good. Thank you. And we are officially in lockdown number 6 in Melbourne as of today.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
It's crazy, right? Yeah. Looks like there's one coming around here as well.
Really? Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, with the pandemic and everything else aside, buddy, I have to say I've been super fortunate to have been in this journey, man. I mean, I made some great friends, and I made super amazing friends like yourself, and the bonding has been amazing. We've known almost for a year now, and been in touch.
A year, a little more than that, I think. No?
Even probably yes.
I think it's
been
a little
in touch
more.
even at a personal level, and then so it feels very, very special. Little did I ever imagine, at least 1.5-2 years ago, that I'll be meeting you and finding a friend in you. So I feel very thankful. Thank you.
I think you're a darling. So yeah.
Nobody. I think it's your humility, because you have, even for the first time when I met you, you had zero air around you, no celebrity thing whatsoever. Super down to earth, and talking to you was like talking to a guy next door or somebody I had known for years.
But I am a guy next door, Chandar. That's the truth. like how you are to me, right? And I think what drives me is the actual process of being with music, be it singing, be it composing and creating stuff. But everything other than that, I completely detach and don't take it seriously at all, because I think it's only a consequence of what you do. And that's it. And the best consequence to happen, I guess, is all the love that we get, and that is to be cherished. But that apart, taking myself seriously, I think it's all rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm as important as you are, and that's it. It's not more or it's not less. I think it's just
amazing.
That's it. Yeah. That's what I believe in, at least. Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, I have to say thank you to you as well. I mean, I have reached out to you during some of my downtimes, and you've been virtually there for me. So, thank you for that, buddy.
I mean, that's what I think we're all there for each other, right? I mean, I know, I'm sure anybody who's watching this, or most of them would know that nobody's spared from bad days in life. But it's just a question of how you deal with it, what you learn from it.
Yeah.
How you grow wiser, and then we're all there for each other just to support. I think all you need is a few consoling words, few words of hope at that moment, and then we're also resilient, right? We quickly pick up from where we left, and that's that. So I think I'm really, really glad that I could be there for you whenever you needed me, when you were emotionally low. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It really helped. That was more like a blessing in disguise.
No, man. The pleasure's mine, Chandra. You're like my brother, man. Seriously, when I say that, so and I mean it, right? So, yeah.
Feels very
special. How are your parents doing? All good?
Yeah, great. Yes, thank you. God's grace.
Good. Happy. That was the last time we connected, when he was not keeping too well, and I remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, buddy, first of all, congratulations. The movie is out 1 hour ago. Literally 1 hour ago. And I'm getting messages that people are starting to watch. So I'm sure you'll be flooded with messages.
Even my phone is actually getting flooded with a lot of beautiful responses. Yes.
Amazing. Buddy, I mean, I'm sure it has been a journey in making the music for this movie. And also, look, 4 songs, all of them are super hits. Congratulations once again. I personally
Thank you, Chandar. I think
one of those is super favorite, but I'll get to that. You'd have probably guessed which one it was. But
this is probably the first time I'm also speaking about it, just after the release as well. So I think reaching out to our community, Sir's community here, and through all your friends and your followers and whatnot, I think the love that all of you have given means so much to me, and it is just so what do I say, encouraging and motivating to go out there and make music that people need, that music, because music heals and music makes people happy, right? And I believe we're all the little conduits to just to transfer what comes from above and then to the people needed here. So I'm very, very, very glad, thankful, and loads of love to each and every person who's supported my music.
Beautiful, buddy. Great. And I mean, I think it's going to be even more magical to actually see the visuals and then connect with the
music.
Please
do. Yes, it's such a lot of fun.
I'm very excited. Like, that's the plan. This weekend, I'm going to watch it. So I can't wait.
Lovely.
I'll definitely tell you after.
Yes, watch and let me know what you think of the film. It's a trippy film. It's a 40-minute anthology. It's quite trippy that way. Yeah.
Right. And how long has the music been in the making, buddy? 4 songs. And
we started during the first lockdown.
Last year?
Last year. Yeah.
Yappa.
And also because half the time things were shut here, right?
Yeah.
So doing everything virtual is not easy. Right. And music is, I think, also a lot about energies, right? It's about meeting somebody, collaborating with them in person. It's a very different experience, and to not do that and to sit at home and then to connect over a phone, over video calls, and some of them are technologically challenged as well. So to get stuff out of them and to get good stuff, I mean, it took time. It was not easy, but it was absolutely enjoyable. Yeah.
Right. So which means that getting the musicians to perform from wherever they are, and going back and forth on various iterations, everything takes time. Wow.
But that's the challenge, right? I mean, how you embrace a situation and then you make the best of it is what life is all about. So this is a different challenge. But looking at it on hindsight, I think now we can just make anything from sitting in this room. We're equipped. You can just score for a film. All you need is this computer here and this small room of mine. Yeah. It's come down to that, which is pretty amazing. I mean, this is unthinkable, I would say, 10 years back.
True.
Nobody would have thought of this. So, yeah.
Do you think this might be kind of the new norm or more like a hybrid?
Hybrid, for sure. This is not going to go, for sure.
Yeah.
However, I think as artists, as human beings, I think we crave company. We love to collaborate. We love to meet people, right?
Yeah.
So that's never going to go. It's like how you and I know for a fact that all live entertainment, live music is going to come back the moment people feel reassured about dealing with the whole pandemic. I think people are going to throng because people want to watch another human being come and perform. It's irreplaceable, right? So that way, I think studios are going to exist, but parallelly, this is also going to be there. It's going to be there for sure.
Right.
Because a lot of collaborations happen so easily now. And, like 4-5 days back, I recorded something in Abbey Road in London.
Oh, wow.
A beautiful string section. And it was probably the most easiest process ever, It was so because I had to write on an iPad, I wrote the score, sent it a couple of days back. Right. The conductor ran through it, he said, we like the score, we like the writing, let's go ahead. And on a particular day, he said 9 p.m. is when your slot is.
Yeah.
And it was a 30-piece orchestra there, string section. And at 8:59, I got the audio movers and the Zoom link. I go online, I watch from my studio. I get a real-time feed from the studio, from Abbey, a real-time feed. The way they hear it, I'm hearing it here in my studio.
Right.
Quick corrections here and there, little tweaking here and there. 9:20, we're done. I could go back for dinner. It's nothing even happened. So it's amazing technology.
Right.
I mean, if you use it well, yeah.
Right. And what about the background score for this movie?
Yeah, everything is done here and is on the computer for most parts. And then we did record a little stuff outside as well.
Yeah.
But I think more than what we could and what we couldn't, I think the film just demanded a very cute score.
Right.
And it's a 45 minute film with about 5 to 6 songs in it. So, music takes a good chunk of it. And then, so as far as the talkies are concerned, I just had to keep it underplayed a little. And then, so we didn't need anything epic in terms of
Understand.
music, because the film is very, very cute between just two people and their conversation over an evening, what happens and all that. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Therefore, it was okay. Yeah.
Did you have to compose or do the music in certain way because of Surya's casting in it? Does it depend, or it's limitless?
So Surya sir being a part of the film was a superb, exciting factor. Obviously, So that would always come at the end of whatever I create. Definitely, that tangent was going to be there.
Yeah.
However, I think when you work with Gautam sir, it's a different trip altogether. Right? And it's the script, it's the story, it's what the situation needs at that point of time. At least as far as music making is concerned. I think I don't think we even had one conversation of, hey, we should deliver a hit song. Oh, we should get these many millions. It was never that. I think we just went ahead and made a bunch of songs, which we thought would suit the film. And I think what was beautiful was somebody like Surya sir who just came and took it to the next level, because his visual presence is so beautiful. Right. And that kind of, I think, elevated the whole project itself, I would say.
Understand. Great.
Yeah.
Buddy, you mentioned about the energy. And when Gautam came on the podcast, he emphasized so much on the energies, and he said he looks for the vibe. He looks for that energy to connect. And in fact, at the end of the podcast, he said, your energy and my energy matched. And hence why I think it's a good podcast. Yeah. So I'm keen to know your perspective on what's that energy you share between.
I think I think energy is absolutely. It's a very valid question to ask. I think if you wake up to it, if you put your antenna up, I think you can filter out a lot of unwanted conversations,
right?
Happenings, people, and this is not about saying somebody is good or bad. It's a question of what works for you, what's good for you. It's like saying some love spicy food, but for some people their body tells them don't have spicy food. Both are healthy, right? So instinctively you know that you have that and you're going to get into trouble the next day, and you step back from it. That's the kind of energies that I'm talking about. I think it's the reverberation that you have about yourself, your belief systems, your ideologies. I think all these things play a huge part in shaping up the way you are, the way you interact with the world, the way people perceive you. I think it's very, very, very important. I think it's just a question of waking up to it, because if you're in sync with somebody, I think anything that you do with them is just a walk in the park, no stress at all. Any kind of creation that you do, even a simple conversation, and vice versa, it's hell if you can't align with somebody's thought process and all that. So I believe in it. I'm sure Gautam sir also believes in it. So many a times we don't even discuss what we create. It's just a question of him giving a very, very brief about what he wants, and there's an idea I will send. He says, love it, and then that's it. And then I just go ahead, develop it. Then he will just give his inputs here and there if at all needed, and then that's what it is. It's crazy. And same with Karki, who who is a part of the trio. The three of us, when we get together, there's very minimal conversation about what we want to do.
Right.
It's beautiful. Touchwood. Yeah. That's the energies that I'm talking about.
Right, of course. And since you mentioned about Karki, I can't resist asking you this question. Because you're the composer, do you look for certain elements or certain words? I'm talking more from the perspective of sounding of lyrics or phonics.
Oh yeah. I haven't told this anywhere, but we had a hilarious experience when we were writing Turiga.
Right.
Hilarious experience. So here we go. So Gautam loved the tune.
Yeah.
And me and Gautam, so we were like super excited because we knew we kind of had something decent, right, at a very nascent stage. And then came Karki on board, and then we sent it to Karki and we said, Karki, this is the deal. And he said, sounds great. I'm going to come back to you with the words. And then he came back with the first draft of lyric, which was like super Tamil, like you know. So I think Karki has a high IQ. Yeah. Okay. So to bring him down to a much more accessible level is where the challenge is sometimes for us, because he just takes it to another level altogether. And Gautam sir and I looked at the lyric and we said, this is like fantastic, but can it be a little simpler, because just to cater to a larger audience.
Yeah.
Right. And Karki said, what, guys, the tune is so classy and so pretty. I feel like these words would do justice. So we said, okay, no problem. And I sang it. I put a first draft of my singing in it, and then all three of us heard. We kind of lived with it for a day or two. And we strongly felt, Gautam sir and I strongly felt like, it could be a little simpler. So we had a conversation, and then we got Karki on. We said, Karki, you know what? Can we try something colloquial? Okay. And then Karki said, guys, colloquial is not going to work for this. It's a classy product. It's not going to work. So very sweetly, we said, no, Karki, can we just try? It could work.
Yeah.
And then Karki gave a draft. Basically, the draft was like, no profanity on the show. So it was like, my dear buddies, just let the writing part be with me, kind of a thing. It was hilarious. So the heroine's name is Netra in the film. And it was like, Netra, Satara, that kind of a vibe. Oh my God, we were like laughing, we saw the lyric, and then we knew that this is Karki just messing with us. And then I went back to Karki. I said, Talevare, let's just go back to what you wrote. Adila, if you could just dumb it down a little,
okay.
Just, here and there tweaking and stuff. And then he did that, and that is what we listen to today,
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love
hilarious.
It. That's my favorite track. I was actually going to talk about that.
Thank you, Chandra. Yeah,
and
a lot of people.
The I Love Era community absolutely loved all the tracks, and I did send you the messages.
Big shout out to all those guys. Yes, love you guys. Thank you for all the love. Thanks.
And since you've sung it too, and since you're the composer, how should
You're asking great questions, man.
Dude, I've evolved.
Wow, thank you. I'm loving this. Yeah, it's. I read somewhere that apparently it's a crazy task to. Anyway, you go ahead with the question. Finish, and then I'll answer. Yeah.
No, go for it. I'll listen.
Your question is, at what point do you switch off as a singer and then?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Because you're a composer too, and
yeah, it's crazy. I completely am with you, because where do you draw a line?
Yeah.
And at what point do you think this is it, and this needs to go out, right?
And then do you critique yourself? Because
exactly.
Both ends.
Exactly. So the truth being told, so all the songs that I've sung, I would say, this is not to brag. That's not the point. The point is, everything was just done as the first draft for the lyric, for the three of us to understand.
Right.
So I would have probably spent about 15 minutes singing all these songs, because it's coming from inside. And it's the key is suitable to me, and since I'm making it, the effort is simple. I just go with the flow, and then I quickly put them together. But this is always there. So when I'm singing in my own composition, there is this singer in one part of my head who says, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. Should I do this? Should I do that? And then the other guy, composer, sitting on the other side, and he says, you know what? Take it easy, man. It's okay. This is enough. So somewhere you believe that you try and get a balance.
Right.
There's no hard and fast rule for it, but you hope that you kind of find that sweet spot where the singer shines and the composer shines as well.
Understand.
But it's a crazy task, and it's a challenge that I love. It's
I have been very intrigued with this, because especially with you, where you don both the hats, right? Composer and everything else.
I understand. All the more in my case, I believe, because I've been more of a singer. So I'm more of a singer. I've just gotten full-fledged into composing. So obviously my first instinct is to look, think, interpret as a singer, and I'm very consciously coming out of it. But it's fun. That's where the charm is.
Right. And since you mentioned, of course, the shift towards being a composer, was that a conscious shift? Because of course, not everyone has to follow that path, so to speak, singer, composer, and anything else. But is this a path that you wanted to choose, and was that conscious?
I think Chandar, somewhere I think about 8 to 10 years into my singing, I think the biggest thing is that's where I think I completely bring in the tangent of AR sir, the kind of impact he's had in my life, right? The kind of impact he's had as a human being is one whole topic altogether. Now we can do a separate podcast for that. Okay. Now I'm talking about the kind of musician that he's been and the way he's influenced me. So I've always had the privilege of watching him very, very closely in terms of how he creates music.
Right.
And trust me, it's such a fantastic process because he makes it look so beautiful. There's no stress. And it's so beautiful. It's a very, very beautiful meditative calm zone where he just lets the universe take over and he just creates something beautifully. So I think right from my early years as a professional singer, I've always been watching him. So I guess the desire was there in me.
Right.
I've also had a conversation with him when I was, I think, 24, 25, I think 2004, 5, during that time where he himself said, you should look beyond just being a singer. You should learn other things. You should learn programming. You should learn this. You should learn that. And then for me, it's very simple. If AR sir is telling me that directly, and then I would be a fool to not pick the cues. Right?
He's seen that in you.
He's seen that in me. Yes, I think he's seen that in me. So I guess I've always been a much larger package than just being a vocalist.
Right.
Because to me, music is much, much bigger than just taking a song and singing a song. And I've never walked around saying, you know what, I've done this. I've done so many thousands of songs. I've got this. Or sitting and trying and saying, oh, Andha Harkat, how do I get that? My head has never gone into that. Rather, my head has gone into bigger things of how did this guy make this song? What's the harmony? What's the rhythm? What's the production? What genre is this? Things like that. So I guess it is all there within me, and it just had to evolve slowly over a period of time with a lot of learning from my end.
Yeah,
I think that was something I was very clear. I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be equipped with the skill and not just jump into it because I get an opportunity, but I want to take it hands-on because only then I believe my own sound will evolve with time. So, yeah.
So, how did you go about acquiring that skill, Karthik, just out of curiosity?
Sure. So, music production is an absolutely vague, vast ocean to learn. To make a song may look very easy, but it's very, 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 very difficult, extremely frustrating. Fortunately, I think the last 5 to 8 years, we've got YouTube, we've got everything online. So, you want to pick something, you could just go learn. And the learning is happening that way. But a beautiful, significant development that I had in my career is that as a musician is that I finished learning all the 8 grades in Western classical theory. So now I write music and I think that has been a game changer for me, which I did in the last 2 years, during the Corona time and all that. I picked up learning. Wow. So even when we recorded now at Abbey, it's music that I wrote, and it's a very small thing in the larger picture, but it's a big thing for the musician in me to know that I've gotten 1% better than where I was, last year. So all that, I think everything put together, I think kind of brings out the best in you when you sit and create. I think it's a bit of, because you don't know which aspect of a song drives a song to make it special. It could be the harmony, it could be the melody, it could be one word, it could be the rhythm, it could be a bunch of all these things, it could be the mix, it just could be the voice, So unless you have a decent command and awareness of all these things, you're just waiting for good things to happen. But rather, if you're aware of the grammar, you're just increasing the chances of hitting a good zone much quicker. I think that's the whole idea of learning.
Beautiful. And is there a certain kind of inspiration that you look for, or what inspires you rather? That probably is the right way to ask. And then also, what drives you to go deeper into creativity?
One could be with somebody as intelligent as Gautam sir. It's the kind of briefs that he gives. It's very, very, very spot on, very different. Like there's a song in Guitar Kambi Mailin Intro where he said, can we have a Western classical piece and then branch out into something original?
Wow.
Now there's a challenge straight away, which I love, and I love these challenges.
Yeah.
I would any day enjoy this rather than a director just walking up to me and saying, "Sir, can we do a hit song?" For me, that doesn't drive me. Rather, if you give me specifics of why the song is happening, it could be a word, it could be a concept,
Yeah.
it just could be anything, So things like that. So I think those are things that drive me, and I, as a person, draw a lot of energy from the person that I work with.
Beautiful.
So for me, it's very critical. It's important that
Yeah.
I am in sync,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of positivity from that end. So if that is there, then my energy just multiplies.
Right.
Right. So I think it's just knowing a little about how you operate, and then you just align yourself to
Beautiful.
the situation that you have. Yeah.
As an extension to that, did you have to do anything in specific, even in terms of designing your studio with the colors and what appeals to you and things like that, and also handpicking your team members?
Good questions, man. Seriously, oh wow, nice. Handpicking my team members. I'm in the process of getting a team done. I've got a bunch of guys working under me.
Super.
Lovely guys. And they're all very, very happy now. So yeah, the whole team is, in fact, I'd like to thank my team, my engineers, and who've been with me for the last, 1.5 years on the project.
Very
and
nice.
all that. Yeah, they're all very, very happy. Young guys. I have a beautiful team, and handpicking, yeah, I straight away know what I don't want, at least in the studio. The colors and I'm a minimalist. So, like if you look at my room, there's nothing.
That's exactly I was about to say, and see here. You couldn't
So
live with
there's-
me.
I don't know. For me, there's nothing. And I love it because for me, I feel like my head is very clear when I walk into the room. It's just emptiness. That kind of helps me in my creative process.
You've always been like that, or this is a
I think
shift that you chose?
I've gotten here. I don't know since when, but
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you just walk into my house, it's crazy. It's like my wife still comes and tells me, "You've not let me put anything there, put anything there, put anything there." It's like a couple of rooms reverberate even now because they're, you know what I mean, right? Yeah, I'm just trying to manage as long as I can. One day, she's just going to sneak in a sofa without asking me. Yeah.
Nice.
But I'm a minimalist, so I just
Cool, man. I don't think I could ever be one.
Yeah.
That's me, probably. Yes.
That's yeah.
But yeah, much respect to you.
No, man, both
Easy.
work. Whatever works for you, whatever works for me. It's not about
Yeah.
one being good or bad or right or wrong. It's not that. It's just this keeps you, this drives you to do what you need to do, and this drives me in my journey. That's about it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Buddy, I'm still very, very intrigued with your as a composer hat again.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, obviously you've had a super long journey with 20 odd
Yeah.
years, right?
20. Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
Right. And then the the amazing memories you had with him and the journey that you had with him, that one aside, and now you being a composer, and of course somewhere or the other you probably would have felt there is an influence of Sir's music while you're doing your
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
the thing what I really wanted to ask was, how do you actually try and get inspired, one, and also try to stay away, the other, and then find your own identity in the middle?
Yeah. So for all of you who are watching this podcast, I think Chandar is a badass at asking absolutely relevant, intelligent, beautiful questions. Okay, superb. I love it. Yeah. Okay, now you're getting into my head, which is very interesting. That's a very, very good point. So the thing is, Chandar,
I am intrigued because
Totally.
I like to know what goes.
absolutely, man. Totally. So the thing is, one thing I realized as a vocalist is that if some people identify my voice immediately, if they think I have my own way of performing or rendering or approaching a song in the studio and then putting it out, right? You know, that has not happened because I said I am going to be in this way. It has happened because I know what I should not do. Because all of us are unique, right? If you figure out the don'ts and then just do what comes naturally to you, you evolve into something unique. This is a life lesson for me as a vocalist. So as a vocalist, what did I not do? When I got into the scene, I had a tendency of sounding like Hariharan sir, a little bit like Balu sir, a little bit like Shankar Mahadevan sir, you know, all of them. Because these are the voices I grew up to. I mean, I
Did
follow
you
the
feel like
sirs.
that, or someone told you? Because I
So
don't
people
think
around
you
me,
ever
no.
sounded
So
like
people
that.
around me would. People around me would
Right.
just before I met sir and started recording for him.
Understand? Okay, right.
So
right.
they would say, so because see, at the end of the day, I would sing a Pachanirame. I would try to sing like Hariharan sir, and I would try to sing one Yene Kaanavillaye like SPB sir, right? And I would sing a Baraga Nadikara Oram and try to sing like Shankar Mahadevan sir. The simple.
I still I find Karthik there.
That's okay, but that's no. The point is, at that point when I was 19 and trying to meet people and sing, everybody would say, oh, "You sing well, but you sound like him. You sing well, but you sound like him." Now this was happening, and I was a little concerned, saying, "Hey, so then what's going to happen?" But sir picked me and then started giving me songs, and I just went with the flow. And what I didn't do is consciously not try to sing like any of these people. Like a very, very simple thing, like when people would want me to laugh in a song, I would not do it. I've never done it till now. Because to me, to laugh in a song, to smile with a lot of charm is an absolute SPB Sir's trademark. And nobody can do it better than him.
Right.
Right? It's like how you will just sneak in one beautiful smile out of nowhere, and then it works like a charm. So some of these guys would say, "Sir, Anga Kunjo, you know, if you can just, you know, do you want to go over the top?" And then I would say, "Guys, no, let's not do that. But I will put a big wide smile and I'll sing." And people understand. But these are all the things which I consciously initially. So today, if I do it, you'd still know I'm singing the song. But in 2001 and 2, probably not. Right? So that's what I'm talking about. So now coming to being a composer, I feel like the concept is the same. Where I'm blessed is that I've been closely associated with Rahman sir, with Raja sir. You know, we've been tracking songs for him, and then I know how that legend, just how he goes about a song. I know how Rahman sir interprets a song and all that, at least to a decent extent. You know, but I've seen songs from scratch to the ones which you guys know. So I feel like there is a beautiful method to all this. It's not just madness. It's not just they're looking at the moon, getting inspired, and then they're writing a song. It's not that. There is a lot of skill. There is a lot of dedication. There is absolute focus in the job. There is a lot of sincerity in wanting to create something spectacular. You know, all this, and then the cherry on the pie is that they are creative geniuses. Therefore, everything falls in place. Now, as an observant person, I'm just trying to imbibe the method, and then let Karthik just do the job, and then whatever comes. Now, good, bad, working, not working is secondary, but at least this is my thought process.
Amazing.
This is the thought process. Yeah.
You mentioned about focusing, right? So how do you isolate yourself from the surroundings with everything that's happening and the challenges that life throws on you?
Yeah, so
And get creative to create something.
I would put it this way, Chandar.
Yeah.
My job is so much fun that if there is something exciting me to create, everything else fades out no matter what.
Right.
So just look
that
at it from the other side.
In the past days when you would don only the singer hat and you go in for a record.
So being a singer, I found it very easy. There was nothing I need to do.
Right.
I would just walk into a studio. Somebody has really created a beautiful song for me. Just go, great music, listen to it, switch on into the song, switch off, and leave in 2-3 hours. So I think this calls for a lot more commitment. I think mentally, like I said, the focus is needed. But I feel like it's the other way. Look at it from this side. The work is so much fun that when fun kicks in, it doesn't matter where you are, what you do, what's going on around you. I think music takes over.
Right.
Right.
I'm not saying this has happened, but if you have had some sort of a little argument with a family member and then you go into
yeah.
the studio,
Oh,
it,
yeah, happens.
it doesn't come at all.
It happens. It does have an impact,
Right.
but you figure out how to switch
Isolate.
off,
Okay.
isolate yourself. Yeah. I mean, or
Yeah.
just push it and then go listen to something that you like, or just watch Friends for like 10 minutes. You find out ways, right? You just know how to switch
Right.
off.
Yeah.
And you also understand that at the end of the day, I mean, we're all here. There's a journey, and we all have our reasons to be the way we are, and
Yeah.
you just want to be nice to the people around you, and then just move on. It's okay. It's okay to fight.
Yeah, of course. Look, this just came across. Of course, since the last.
You
one,
haven't prepared the questions and all, no?
absolutely nothing. Nothing is ever scripted.
Yeah. So guys, this guy is a badass. Okay.
Yeah, but what I wanted to know was like,
Yeah.
especially in the last 1.5 years, with everything that happened around us and things like that. Me personally, I was using music as a massive magic tool to basically help me heal and then maintain my sanity and then still be productive and then not complain and then try to see the positives.
That's a lot.
You're on the other end who is a creator of music, and then I've also known the challenges that you've had as a result of the lockdowns, having to shift your stuff from studio home studio, back and forth time and again,
Yeah.
and then create music for others to go and heal, and whilst you also keep your sanity on. Yeah, I'm just curious, man.
No, thank you for understanding. That's very sweet of you. It's not easy. It's not easy. I think music takes over, Chandar. I think finally, when you get a nice idea, man, it makes your day. I'm telling you, and it's such a personal journey that, like, I made an idea this morning, and I'm so happy. Nobody in this world knows that I made this idea. Nobody has heard it. And someday I know millions will listen to it. But I've already been through it. Like, I've got my share of joy creating it, right? And that's a different high, man, altogether. I can't even explain. And that is so addictive that you are okay to go through anything around it.
Right.
Because and even when we released Turika, I think my social media team called me a couple of hours before, saying, "So what's the post going to be?" And there was a lot of hype, and everybody was waiting because it's the Surya GVM combination after Varnamayaram, and everything just dawned upon me. I had not really thought about all this for the last 1 year, and the last few hours, the hype was so much, and I'm thinking, man, what have I gotten into? I didn't want to get sandwiched between all this because people have their expectations, and the previous one was Varnamayaram, which is, I think, one of an incredibly superb album, and for a second I said, what if people don't like it? I mean, they'll write me off, right? All these thoughts were running through my head for about 5-10 minutes. I was beginning to get a little anxious, to be very honest. I'm human. But I just stepped back, I thought it through, I said I enjoyed the whole process, and the only thing I said was, my handcrafted baby for 6 months flies out of my window to just go make millions smile, and this is probably the most heartfelt thing that I could come up with. And to actually see millions smile today, and I think that's the power of universe, man. Seriously, it's crazy. So when you think of all that, you know that you're just one speck in the whole process.
Yeah.
And then why would you even complain? You're okay to take anything around this, so that this process is so beautiful.
Beautiful. I love it. Hey, I just thought about it. Yeah, you mentioned about an idea, right? So when you do get an idea, how do you basically jot it down? What do you do? I'll just provide a bit of background for this, because I've seen one of Sir's interviews in the past where he said he gets the most of the ideas, especially when he's flying. I know he does. And then he records it as a voice note on his phone, and then sends it to his team later, or develops that later, whatever happens later.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I've got 1,314.
Oof.
Yeah, this saves us actually. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one song which I'm working on. I was in the shower and then this idea just came, you know.
Where the best of the best ideas
it's like
come.
Archimedes, just that I didn't run outside. Luckily I had the phone with me. You know, I can't even play it to you because only I can only hear the shower, and it's like I'm just humming the tune. I knew it was a nice idea, and it goes off. It just comes in a flash sometimes, right? So you're at the mercy of the phone sometimes, yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and then you take that into the studio, and then
And then I'd bring it to my console, and then we put it on the machine, and then you manipulate it, tweak it, and then try and push it. You know, get the right key, get the right tempo, get the right groove, fix the genre, and then it slowly, it beautifully evolves. Basically, just let the universe do it, Chandar. That's it. You just let it happen. It grows if it's meant to. Yeah. Many times it doesn't, so you're okay with it. Many times I come up with trash. I mean, it's so bad. It's like I can't even tell you.
that's
So
only
just
your
know.
perspective, though, right?
That's my perspective, yes, but I have to be honest with myself, right? Yeah.
So
But
you
it's fun.
critique your
The
own
process is fun. Yeah.
So you critique your own stuff as part of the creativity. Is that what?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously. Right. And then there is always this. It's like I remember Rajiv Menon telling me once, you know, it's a very, very beautiful line. He said, the thing is, a professional is someone who knows when to stop.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then just step out of it and then look at it objectively, dispassionately saying, is this going to work or not?
Right.
Would a larger audience consume this or not? So that's the biggest challenge is when you put a song out, you put a part of your heart out, I believe, man,
Yeah.
because it's an emotional journey. You know, every song, every piece of music that we create, it's a part of me. It's a part of my what I believe in. It's my everything, right?
Of course.
Right. So you do that, you live with it, and the moment you've delivered the master and it's out, you just need to switch off, and because then it's another person altogether. The song has got its own journey, and then they go where they need to go. You just become completely dispassionate about it. Yeah, don't hang out, don't latch onto it, don't sit and see where it's going, who's liking it, who's not liking it. We guys just move on to the next thing to do, and then if people like it, nothing like it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was actually going to ask you when.
At what point do you?
Where to stop?
Yeah,
That was exactly where I was getting.
It's something I am sure every professional works on it. I don't think anyone would say, I know where to stop on the next project, you know. It's a very tough one, yeah. I would learn that for a lifetime, yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Buddy, and since we touched over 20 years of having known Sir, worked with him, what memories come to your mind?
Where do I even start, Chandar? It's like crazy, man. It's where do I even start, you know? I mean, here's this guy who's first of all picked me when I was an absolute no one, you know, just another 19-year-old college kid who's just excited about music, who could, you know, and then to promote me, to consistently give me good songs, you know. Consistency is very important, right? For any artist to establish and to create his own space, and for me to just be around him for 2 decades, I think I am bloody lucky, man. Touch wood. That's it. I don't have anything to say. I'm
I
just
want
very
this
happy.
to happen forever, not
Absolutely.
just like 30,
40. Absolutely. And I think that kind of sums up everything. I think for me, he's inspired me as a human being, as a musician, you know, and he's very special. He's not like us. He's very special. Yeah. He's something else, actually. Different person altogether. Different person. Yeah.
Any of the recording memories that comes to your mind? Any
So many.
specific ones?
So many. I mean, my first one was obviously something I would never forget when I sang that.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I had no clue how to even record in front of a mic. I was so naive and nascent, you know, but then the way he just joked around, because I was freaking out looking at him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
3 days back, man, I would have fainted if I saw him. It's like that. It's like freaking out, and then how will you sing when you're nervous? Right? And this is something which he quickly understood, and just cracking random jokes. You know how he is. And, just to break the ice, and then in about 10-15 minutes, he made sure I was not conscious, at least, and I was into the song. And that whole experience was so fast. It was at 3:30 in the morning. For about half an hour, 45 minutes, I would have sung for maybe an hour. It was all over. And then we finished. I came out of the room, and then he said, "You know what? Sounds nice. We'll see what happens." I said, "Okay, sir, sure." I went home and I slept. The next morning, I woke up at 10 o'clock, and trust me, I thought it was a dream.
Oh, wow.
It was hard to believe, right?
Yeah. I like that.
It was like a dream. It was, and I had to really pinch myself and say, "You actually went, you actually sang, and you actually spoke a couple of lines with him. You spent about 1 hour, and then, man, you're back home and you're alive." It was. This is what it is. When the first song released, I remember it was the last day of my final year exam, cost accounts. I remember going to the college with the cassette, with the tape. And in my gang, there's only one guy who had a car. So that was the only place where you could listen to music.
Right.
This was 2000.
Yeah.
Right? So the guys were heading to write the exam, and I said, "Hey, buggers, come here, let's listen to something." So they all said, "What? Macha, we have exam now." And I said, No, just come, come.
Yeah.
And they're all North Indians.
Right.
Okay. So they weren't really following the audio release. The song had come one day before.
Yeah.
I played the song to them. I said, "This is Rahman sir's music." They said, "What a song, man, really nice." And I said, I sang it. Nobody believed, Chandar.
Oh, wow.
Nobody believed that I sang the song. They said, "You got to be kidding me. Go write the exam. Let's go write the exam." And we went, and I was laughing. Nobody believed that it really happened. It was so crazy, man. I'm telling you. And I think thanks to sir for
Beautiful.
for inspiring me even now. Yeah.
Beautiful. And of course, you mentioned about random jokes, and you and I both know Sir has a very wicked sense of humor.
Wicked.
I'm sure something must be coming into your mind where, okay, this joke I just can't forget.
No, he always has this, like Lingeshwar, Kapileshwar and all that. He'll have this, you know what I mean, right? So there's anything, if you want to do, if somebody's singing on a loop, you say Loopeshwar. You just come up with all these really funny ones, okay? And then, yeah. But I'll tell you, there are some other crazy moments. Like after some sessions, I remember after Delhi 6 and all that, we would go through the night.
Yeah.
And we would wrap up by 6:37 in the morning. And you're tired and sleepy and hungry because you worked through the night. So 6:30 when we're finishing and coming out, the sun is just out. We've been in the studio and all that. So it'll be sir, myself, and maybe one or two more people. And fresh breakfast from Sharanabhavan will come.
Oh,
It's
wow.
not wrong. All idli, dosa, for about 4 or 5 of us laid down.
Nice.
So many days where he would just sit with us. And man, I'm telling you, he will eat like how you and I eat. And I'll be having this idli and this dosa, and then suddenly, it'll hit me. Shit, is that A.R. Rahman sitting next to me? And this is after working with him for 10 years. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying.
Of course.
Yeah, and I love to keep that intact in me.
Yeah, beautiful.
I still keep it. If he calls me now on my phone, my heart still flutters like how it did in 1999.
True.
Yeah, and I love to preserve that because I know in this lifetime he's the only person with whom I share that relationship.
Super.
Nobody else can. Nobody else can. It's over. That's it. Right? So I don't want to let go of that emotion, and it's so beautiful. Even now my heart races when I get a message or a mail or a call from him, and it's like, sir, yes sir, what's up? It's like I'm there, like attention wherever I am, right?
I was just gonna ask, do you stand up and pick up the call?
Well, it's like that. I'm not kidding, and I love it, and I love it, and I don't want that to change.
Yeah.
It's like I love it. I'm just going to be the same, even when I'm 60, and when he calls me, I would still be that,
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful, man. Yeah.
So, after the recordings and things like that, are there like what sort of topics you would talk with Sir? I mean, or what does he talk? I know you would talk about anything, but anything that comes to your mind rather
Well,
in
could be
general, or
anything.
is it
I mean,
usually around music?
it's about spirituality
Yeah.
more and music as well. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super.
It's you get a lot of pearls of wisdom if you just let him speak.
Right.
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 Lot of cues as to how to live, basically how to deal with all that's happening, the good and the bad. Right.
True.
I'm sure everybody goes through. Everybody who's popular has got their share of dealing with the good and the bad, and that's just a part of the package. But how you deal with it, like how you said, how you empty your head and then sit and create. Like,
Yeah.
you need to be wired in a certain way, and when you hang around with him, you kind of get an idea. Okay, no, this is how the geniuses work. This is how they switch on and switch off. Like even Raja Sir, for that matter, all of them have the power to just switch off, when they have to, when they need to create, and it's fantastic, man. It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all because your mind can just multiply
For sure.
anything,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
do you stop it? How do you change the channel in your head?
Right. Actually, I mean, you just how should I say, inspired me to think about this. The thing is, what I wanted to ask you was, of course, you go into the recording specifically to record for Sir, and one is this man is there on the other side of the glass, and then
10 feet away. Yeah.
and you're recording for him, and then you have to get the right kind of emotions as the song needs. That's number one. How do you do it, man? Like with Sir
That's-
around, and then
That's been effortless, Chandar. I'll tell you why. Because that studio is blessed. And the aura Sir has, these things just happen effortlessly. The
Right.
moment I walk into the studio, I kind of get into a complete neutral zone. I'm just calm. And I'm just ready to take what comes my way and give it my best shot. This is it. And this is effortless. It's not even a process that I consciously go through,
right.
So I think it's just the goodness that he emanates and the studio does, right? It's incredible. It's incredible. And so many times when I've been in front of the mic, in front of him in that vocal booth, so many times, I would get this flash of a thought saying, hey, all the songs that I grew up with, all the songs that billions are listening to, people stood here and sang that song, right? What a lucky guy you are to be here, and look at that, I have goosebumps now,
Wow.
When that thought comes to you, what more do you need? You are just glued in like nobody, right? You want to give it your best, and not to disappoint him in any way, right? It's incredible. Trust me.
Amazing. And
I mean, just to think, chinna chinna aase happened there. Enough. What more do you need?
true.
Right?
Very true. I was going to ask. Now the thing is, obviously, I'm sure almost every song you would have recorded for Sir would have happened in the night, right?
Most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
most
I
of
was
them.
going to ask. I mean, did that how impact you in a way where you're usually a day person or a night person, or that didn't matter at all? Because wearing a singer's hat then, and then you being tuned into singing or getting your best at certain time of the day.
Very true.
How you
Very,
have to
very good
shift
question.
in some way or the other to go record for this man who works
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
night
Yeah. Very,
and
very
prepare
good
yourself to go and record.
question. True.
I'm keen to know about that aspect.
So with Sir, most of the calls are last minute. You just get a call and saying, are you around? Can you come to the studio? Yeah. And then you run to the studio. Now with many others, it's all planned. They at least let you know a day or two in advance, and then you fix your schedule and all that. There have been days where it's been crazy. Like I would run through the night with Sir, and I would have Raja Sir's recording at 7:30 in the morning. And I'll be like, at 3:34 in the morning, I'll be like, oh, I haven't slept. I don't know how I'm going to sing. I'm going to sound like a buffalo at 8 in the morning, without sleep. Sleep is the most important thing for a vocalist, right?
Yeah.
But you just deal with it. And sometimes sir also very sweetly will ask at 4:35 in the morning, he'll say, வேற ஏதாவது செஷன் இருக்கா உனக்கு, வேற எங்கே ரெக்கார்டிங் இருக்கா, and all that, you know. And then sometimes I say, yes sir, 9:30 only, no, okay, we'll go in half an hour, and then you let me go home, and then you get 2-3 hours, and then you manage. But you manage and you also excel most of the times, because that is the power of the mind, Chandar. When you absolutely love what you do, and if you really put your head into it, saying, I'm going to sing through the night, I'm going to go through the day and then finish a song, you would be surprised. You will do it. You will finish that song and then you'll conk off. That's a different point. But you will finish the song. You know? And so many times it has happened. I think everything just comes down to your head. If you believe in it, you can do it. That's just that. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Amazing. Amazing. And of course, you've sung a number of Hindi tracks as well. Personally, I have so many of everything that you've sung. I love them, no doubt. But I do want to touch on Benede, because every time that song plays, there is something magical about it, and I lose myself. And I'm sure that must have some sort of a special memory for you.
Oh, it did. It did. Benede was intense. And Gulzar Saab's lyric and Mani sir, you know. It's like, what do you do, man?
Was Mani sir around for that recording?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah. But see, I've been lucky. I'll tell you why. One of the earliest recordings I did was for Alaipayude chorus.
Right, yeah.
And then I sang Sundari, Sirigereteval Sundari. You know, I did the track and a little bit of those lines as well. When Mani sir was there for Kannathil Muttamital, you know, I was there. And then I did something else also after that. And then something else also after that. Yeah, I did Yuva. Thakala Gabukha, you know, I did that.
Yeah.
And then Niyaro, I did that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I sang that in Telugu. So I was there in the composing. So I think I've always been there for Mani sir's. So at least 3 or 4 films in the whole of 2000s, right? And then it was this film Round, and where Mani sir was again there, and I mean, so I know how beautiful it is to be in that room with Rahman sir and Mani sir. Man, it can't get better in life. It's like party done, you know, just happy. That's it. So
That doesn't make you nervous at all.
it just gets me so excited. It's excitement at its peak.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you're just waiting to hit the mic and to take on the challenge, right? And
Beautiful.
Benede was a challenging track, actually. It's not easy.
And amazing.
It's very high.
Well done, buddy. I love it.
It's okay. It was a good challenge. I like that challenge. And sir also recorded beautifully. It's just, especially the le gaya, all that was very high, you know. Yeah. And then he had to manipulate a little bit with the vocals and then pitch it down and then pitch it up and stuff like that. Yeah. But it was fun.
With that said, I mean, of course, with all the songs that you have sung for him, has there been a moment where you've gone off the tune and then sir has had to friendly yell at you, saying, "Hey, Karthik, this is something like that," or
That has not happened, but there has been moments where I've become too sleepy and tired in front of the mic. Friendly yell, he's never yelled at me. Touch wood, actually, he's never yelled at me.
Yeah, he hasn't said Sharda and all that.
Sharda has not happened to me, I think.
Not happened to you.
Not happened to me, yeah. I don't remember a serious Sharda happening for sure. Yeah, at the most he would just say, "Hey, Shuri Patako, all of that done," and then we'll fix it, you know, that's it. But Champestunanu and Sharda has not happened to me. But even if it happens, you know, it is so cute when he says that, you know, he'll have a big smile on his face and he'll say that, right? You know what I mean? So it's not yelling, dude. Somebody has to tell him what yelling is then, you know. It's like, it's the sweetest way of telling somebody, right? Yeah, so that has never happened. But there's a funny incident. There's a song called Yedo Yedo. Yeah, I remember this because I went at 7 or 8 in the evening, and the lyricist came at 11 or 12 in the night. And I sang the tune at around 1:30 or something, and then the tune went to the lyricist, and I thought I was going to go home at 3 and sleep.
Yeah.
But then he said, "Hang on," you know, and then the lyricist came back with the lyric by 4:35 in the morning. The song was good to go.
Yeah.
Suddenly he said, "Let's record." So I was out of gas completely. 5:36 and then 6:30, so the lyrics are here, and I'm looking at it and I'm trying to sing, and the words are just fading out of fading out into the oblivion. I don't even know what's happening. It's like I couldn't stand. I was so sleepy. So I was getting restless because he had to deliver the song, more importantly.
Wow.
So he was just trying to finish it. He said, "Hey, tirpi paadu, sing once more. All that was happening. And then Srinivas Murthy sir came. He is sir's... Yeah, for the people who don't know. Yeah. Like sir's assistant arranger and all that. So he came and then very funnily sir said... and the record பண்ணி முடிச்சிருங்க மூர்த்தி காரு அந்த பையன் விழுந்துற போறான் கீழே தூங்கி. I was laughing in the booth. I'm saying, sir, அப்படின்னா இல்லை முடிச்சிரு சார் விழுந்துற போறான் ஸ்ரீமூர்த்தி காரு. Then he went to sleep. It was hilarious, man. It's so cute.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
I love stories like this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Funny story.
Yeah.
People would say, how did you sing this, all that? It's a different story altogether. Actually, if you look at it, no? Yeah.
And there's also another track, A Sinamika. Such an amazing
that's a
song.
crazy
I still
track,
remember back in the days, in one of the interviews, I could be wrong, but sir did say it took about 6 months for the song, was it? Or longer than that? I can't remember.
So when I was called, there was a very, very fresh idea lying on the table for him, and then he just what I liked is we did it. I think we first did it on G, and suddenly he said, why don't you just do the whole falsetto and all that, very Chris Martin, that kind of a thing. So we recorded a little bit on G, and my falsetto was too thin on G and things like that. So we just brought it down to E, which is where the song is finally. So it was a very beautiful process to do that song. Very different. And I was also kind of exploring my whole falsetto on a mainstream song, like all that. No, it's very interesting. And he just made the song in front of me, man.
So he actually composed it, like...
Yeah, Chandu, that's it. So many songs like that, I'm telling you. Wow. For him, it's a flow. He's so fast. When he gets into the zone, if he puts his head into it, he is incredibly fast and creative. It blows your mind, man. Yeah, it's. I've been lucky to see so many songs happen like that. So many.
Which are the others, like
Girlfriend? Yeah, I saw him make the tune in front of me, like so fast, There was a very
light on as
there
well.
there was one synth loop that was on, and he had a very vague idea.
Wow.
But he just took the whole thing and then gave it a proper shape, played the chords, and then the whole Pallavi just happened in no time.
Oh, wow.
At 3 a.m, it was crazy. So many songs like that. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you have actually seen him with the candlelight on and stuff like that too then?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you light a candle too? Just out of curiosity?
I don't light a candle, but like I said, I don't keep things around me. So for me it's
minimalist.
Yeah. I don't think my wife would want to see this. She'll be like, you've gone public. Yeah.
Right. Buddy, I'll, of course, coming close to the end of the podcast, I'm very conscious of the time because you've got a lot of things ahead and then your movie has released today, so I don't want to hold you for long. But I just basically wanted to ask, is there anything that you would like to touch on which I probably have not spoken about? If there's anything and you would like to talk about, I just don't want to let you go and then you think about something, oh God, I could have spoken about this.
Well, if there is something, we can always just latch on to Zoom and then do it again. What's a big deal, man? It's okay. No, but nothing really, Chandar. I'm just very happy. And I'm genuinely happy. I think I only want to thank the universe. I want to thank all my fans.
Beautiful.
I want to thank music lovers, That's the only thing I want to do. I really think it's just so simple, right? Yeah. And I always believe there are so many people who are way, way more talented than me, as a vocalist, as a composer, as a performer.
Yeah.
So I am eternally grateful for getting every opportunity that I do. And I only want to tell that I will work very, very sincerely to make the world around me beautiful in in a small way through
Very
my
nice.
music and through the kind of person that I am. Yeah, that's
Beautiful.
for me, it's just that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Buddy, just last couple of things before I let you go. Is 2 lines of any song that you like as a little dedication for Sir, and then a message for Sir via this
Okay.
podcast.
There's a song from the film called Earth. I think
Yeah.
it's Earth.
1947.
It's called 1947, no? I think, yeah. So it goes like this. Dhimi dhimi bini bini खुशबू है तेरा बदन सुलगे महके पिघले बहके क्यों ना महके मेरा मन. I love this song.
I
man.
love this
Such
so
fond
much.
memories,
Wow.
you know, when these songs came out.
Why did you choose this one? There should have been a reasoning behind it. Like, I'm sure you
I
love
remember
that song.
I remember those days. I was probably about 14, 15, I think 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
And these are the songs which were my companion. Both my parents used to work. And I used to be, alone with my grandmom and granddad. And nothing to do, nothing much to do. And that was the time when I fell in love with music thanks to Sir's music. When I was getting slowly independent to play what I wanted to play. Right?
Yeah.
Because I had a tape recorder at home. And
Yeah.
so these are the songs which put me to sleep so many days.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Very
Yeah,
nice.
so-
Very nice song. And a message for Sir.
Sir ka message.
And I will share this clip too.
Yeah. You know, one beautiful thing is whatever I want to tell him, I just tell him. That way I've been blessed. But yeah, if I have to go here and tell him, Sir, with absolute love and respect, wholeheartedly, I want to thank you. I always thank you. And I never miss an opportunity to thank you. Here is one another opportunity where I can really thank you. Not just for inspiring me as a musician, but for seriously inspiring me how to be a good human being. I am learning, and hopefully someday I will get somewhere around wherever you are. And I always wish the best for you. Great health, fantastic music as always, and I will always remain as one of your biggest fans ever.
Yo,
I
biggest
love you
fan, I'm
guys.
here. You can't say that part.
Okay, it's not more than Chandar as much as Chandar. Just so that, sir, we make him happy here. Yeah. Yes, sir, and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of love. Stay
Beautiful.
awesome as always, sir. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I bloody love this. Buddy, and so just lastly, just wanted to get your perspective on the music industry that we are in currently right now, and then where do you see it going in the future? Just your
I mean,
last.
if I could predict with a lot of confidence, then I'd probably be a billionaire right now. I think I would just, you know what I mean? Music industry has been so dynamic. I mean, I've seen so many things change in the last 20 years. My daughter doesn't know what a cassette is. When I came in, there were only cassettes, cassette CDs, and you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it's changing. It's going to change even more.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing is music has been democratized.
Yeah.
Right, which is a good thing. Technology is just phenomenal these days, so anybody can just put out something today. It's inexpensive. You don't need the big producers. You can bypass so many things today and then just put your stuff out. Having said that, yes, that also comes up with a little bit of a beating that there is a lot of clutter. There is too much content and there's only that much one can consume. So I think it's just going through a beautiful transition where there is a lot of content coming out, but monetizing this content has not been cracked yet. I think once that happens, I think creative people will be rewarded a lot more. And I think once they're rewarded a lot more, I think more creative people will come. So I think it's only going to get better from now on.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thing it just occurred to me again, since you mentioned about technology, and I'm absolutely passionate about tech and all that. What's your thoughts on technology with the advancement that we have so far? And then also, is that a boon or a bane? Like, because the reason why I asked that is obviously you can create certain sounds and you don't have to literally have that particular musician to come and perform in front of you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on that part.
I think using it rightly is the game, right? So it's going to be there. It is there, and you don't want to abuse the technology.
Correct.
It's there, but so Chanda, things are getting evolved, man. So I don't think we should sit here and say boon or bane, or do we need to do this? Do we need to do that? I think if each of us are responsible when we use it the way it's meant to, I think we will see it being used the right way. I think that's all. I can only talk for myself, I think, because first of all, neither am I qualified to represent a bigger cloud, I feel. Secondly, it's none of my business to say how somebody else should use the technology, I think. But if you're asking about me, yeah, I'm going to be very, very responsible and ensure that it's done the right way. Yeah.
Beautiful. Very nice.
Yeah.
Buddy, Karthik, I love this podcast. This is bloody awesome podcast, according to me.
Thank you, dude. I knew this would be really good, because we anyway connect, and it was just a matter of sitting in front of the mic and talk. So guys, this is how we talk, and Chandra and I have, we just bonded, and so he's like, I'm a little older than him, so he's like my younger brother, and I don't even know why I like this guy, but I think he's a good guy.
It's mutual, buddy. I love you.
he's a good guy, right? And yeah, so I really cherish my relationship with him, and I'm very, very happy to have done this for all of them, along with you. Seriously.
Thank you, buddy, and I have to really thank you from the bottom of my heart to have.
And sorry to interrupt you, and some really, really, really intelligent questions asked.
Thanks, buddy. It's probably you inspired me because, of course, you wear two different hats, and then I'm always very curious about how the creative people function for the people on the other side of the world.
True.
So these are all the questions that have that just occurred to me, and as soon as I saw you in front of me. So
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we could have gone for hours, but I don't want to hold you back. And then
no worries.
You have a lot of other commitments as well, and the studio is waiting for you and your lunch.
No worries, bro.
So I'm very, very conscious of that.
No worries, bro.
Stay safe. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and loads of love to all you guys who are watching this. And guys, thank you for making me who I am. I'm nothing without you guys, and just thank you. That's it. That's that.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you again.
Take care.